I'm going to keep this hand. We're going to get a Triome on turn 1. We do have double green requirements, but we're not fetching a basic forest with the Sculler in our hand, so I'll play the Heath. Oh boy, do I hope this is Eldrazi Tron. We have double green and double white, but no double black, so I'll get Temple Garden. No love for Wasteland Strangler. I mean, this is a Dono deck. Did not choose the cards in this list. But I don't really have much love for Wasteland Strangler now. We have to take Dismember there. Our opponent obviously, or they don't have Natural Tron. They're going to cast a Mazebind Tome, but I don't think we can not take the Dismember. I'm also going to hope to draw a land here. Damn it. I think this deck's playing 23 lands, which is on the low end. Kind of think it should be playing 24. They put a card on the bottom, but they also don't upkeep Scry. It's a little weird, but whatever. That's a land. I kind of want a Sculler, but if we Sculler, we can't also Ephemerate. So I guess we have... I really do think we need to Ephemerate and use our mana this turn. Oh boy. Sure thing, Rap. They put a card on top. It's Blast Zone. Blast Zone's a pretty good card against all 2-drops, I guess. They have a Torpor Orb. They get Liquid Metal Coating. I think it's pretty fine if my opponent doesn't find Tron. Just to like let us lose a land. Or now we can just Skyclave the Karn and make their coating dead. We also Skyclave the Matter Reshaper and put Karn to 1 loyalty. This could be better. Can also just cast Siege Rhino. Yeah, I think I like the plan. I mean, this is bad against them finding Tron, but if they find Tron, it's gonna be bad for us anyways. Oh no, I'm sorry. I meant to exile the Matter Reshaper. That was just not what I intended to do. I meant to exile the Reshaper. This maybe is better for us. We'll see. Smasher. I think we just take 5. We have a bunch of 4/5s in our deck, which doesn't feel great, I guess. So we can Yorion. Yorion seems fine. I kind of want to Rhino and then Yorion next turn, though. You just take 5 for gaining 3. We know our opponent has a Coding in their hand and then 2 unknowns. They go and scry 1. And they put a card on top. That card is Urza's Mine, so they can probably empty their hand. Rhino counter 1, yeah. Is Etron good right now? I think it's fine. I honestly don't think it's very good against the Swiftspear decks. I know that there is a bit of an attitude where, you know, just draw Chalice 5 head and win the die roll. I feel like if you're able to draw with Chalice, oftentimes it's too slow against Prowess, and on the play it's very good on turn 2, but it just doesn't give you like a good matchup against Burn either. But yeah, there's definitely just a bunch of like, you know, Ride or Die Burn player or Etron players who will always play the deck. So it's hard to say it's so bad. They get back their Dismember by killing the Sculler, so they can Dismember my Rhino. Guess that's good for them. So no double block for me, I guess. This Yorion will be fine. I like them killing this now to play around Ephemerate. Ooh, I forgot about the 4/4 token. I think we're dead. Yeah, we're dead. Any thoughts on shocking last turn to bluff Ephemerate? I mean, our life total is super relevant if they have like another smasher. It's also like hard for them to play around it. I'm not sure if I'm going to bring in the full 4 Damping Sphere in this matchup, although I will say I really dislike Fatal Push against Etron. It's like it's only good against... I guess it's okay against Ballista, but it's not great. I think we'll play 1 over the 4th Sphere. It's like okay against Ballista, it's good against Thought-Knot Seer, but it's really easy for them to like exile it with Thought-Knot Seer. But I'll play 1 copy. We can probably win a fair matchup against Etron. We'll see. But yeah, also if we shock the hold up Ephemerate, my opponent doesn't play any differently at all that turn, I think. Feels like some paths could be in here as opposed to pushes. Probably not in the main deck. I'm honestly very low on Path to Exile right now. I know I'm a broken record, right? But Path to Exile is so bad against the Swiftspear decks. It's really, really bad against Monastery Swiftspear. And it's fine against other creature decks. But just every Swiftspear deck can use that extra mana so well. And it's just I just really am not a big fan of being on Path to Exile right at the moment. Yeah, and I've also been very impressed by Anthony, specifically because it's good against Swiftspear decks, but whatever. At risk of getting Mallory Shaper next turn, I'm gonna wait on the Sphere for a turn. Yeah, I agree that Bolt is better than the Omnath Blade deck. Absolutely. Do we just concede to Torpor Orb? How do we ever beat Torpor Orb? Play a 4/5. The one of this is also like the one like Karn Wish target that they just boarded in and had on 7 cards. They'll blast Zone away by Damping Sphere on accident and kill the Torpor Orb. Notably, their Thought-Knot Seers are worse. Can't a 4/5 flyer just win? It's pretty unlikely. But it can. You know, it's not impossible. They turned up Ghost Quarter. Weird. This is a sad Rhino. But it is one of our better draws. Is this 2/2 Ballista? Oh, they can't 2/2 Ballista because they played the map. That was a mistake. But it's also kind of probably just better for them to wait a turn and play a 3/3 Ballista. Can we count this as a true Rhino counter? I'll consider it. Rhino counter 1.5. Sounds like the more accurate count. How does Sphere work with Temple? Is it just a waste? Yes, it's now just a waste. Opponent gets a Maze-Blind Tome and now gets to draw 2 cards. Alright, 4/5s. You got a lot of work to do. Do you have a counter for how often I've Ephemerated Rhino? Yeah, it's on the screen. It's right here. It may say game. It may look like a match record indicator, but it's actually just how many times I've done that. Boy, does people just hate drawing cards with Maze-Mind Tome. People hate drawing cards with Maze-Mind Tome. It's probably find Expedition Map instead. So we think they have Ballista in their hands. They definitely have Ugin. You get to kill Ugin. Dude, Torpor Orb is like... It's so good. I can't handle it. I can't handle how good it is here. Just really makes it says, all right, you're playing limited now. You are just now playing a bad limited deck. Oh right. Just Skyclave the Torpor Orb. Although we could draw swords, yeah. We could draw, you know, a sword or a Batterskull and maybe have that be good. Ha! Ha! Yes! Take that, opponent. Oh my gosh. I don't know why every E-Tron player just refuses to ever draw cards off of Mazement Tome. They just love to scry. Where's our Sinew and Steel? That would be good, yeah. Can't play the Skyclave this turn. Maybe I should have played Skyclave over Eternal Witness, but boy do I not want to think about the difference between playing the 2-1 and the 2-2 here. Do we have any disenchants? We've got Skyclave Apparitions to deal with artifacts and enchantments. Maybe we should have Knight of Autumn to deal with Torpor Orb in the sideboard, or maybe like Reclamation Sage. Or Lean in Relic Order, or the new Changeling that enters the battlefield and destroys an artifact or enchantment. Opponent still forgetting about Damping Sphere. All of them ETB, so they do nothing. Ah, thank you for explaining the joke. Darn, they do nothing. If my opponent sacks this, they might sack the Blast Zone on 2, actually. That would be pretty good. Does this deck not run Assassin's Trophy or Abrupt Decay? No, it doesn't. I also don't think that it should. Like, Torpor Orb is not like a super popular card, and it's usually like a one-of in Karn sideboards. I can't believe it! Oh, sorry, they're not sacking it. Okay. Cool. I mean, we get to draw a card off the Thought-Knot Seer, leaving the battlefield. If we win this game, it's going to be just the most absurd thing ever. Maybe I was supposed to chump block. Okay, our opponent's giving us a lot of freebies. Seem like a bit of a paid actor. But I didn't cast a Skyclave last turn because I thought maybe my opponent... I thought maybe my opponent would sack the Blast Zone on 2, so I'll just play it now. And then we can't cast the Ephemerate because of this. Does the additional cost and Damping Sphere stack? Yeah, each one is active, so when one spell is cast, they stack. I don't understand my opponent's plays. I guess they have another Thought-Knot Seer in their hand. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So they could be at 7. If you play this other Skyclave Apparition, we're actually kind of vulnerable to Blast Zone on 3, so we're gonna wait. I'll double block a Thought-Knot Seer if they attack. Pretty easy double block. If we can draw an equipment here, I guess it has to be Batterskull because they have Thought-Knot Seer, but winning this game would be so cool. They have a removal spell. It's not even Dismember. Not even that lucky for it to be Dismember. Ooh, we can Fatal Push the Thought-Knot Seer now. Spike, why don't you Fatal Push the Thought-Knot Seer after chump blocking? Spike. Look, Fatal Push can kill Thought-Knot Seer. No, we can't. Oh, thank you. Thank you, chat. Thanks for letting me know. Could have Ephemerate to save the 2/2. Okay, again, the joke is there's a Chalice on one. I know there's a lot going on, but that's... You also could not have Ephemerated to save the 2/2. I think we have nothing good to get with this, but we probably get Siege Rhino. Yeah, literally everything has an ETB. Resto? I mean, Resto is not better than Siege Rhino here. Resto would have been better if I couldn't cast the Siege Rhino, but I had enough mana. That would have been a good screenshot. Yeah, actually, you're right. I agree. What is this, like, timing of blast zones? Alright, I've been at 1 life before. I guess we're gonna win. If we're at 1 more life, we could actually attack. But this was the only good draw on the entire deck. We need our opponent to brick this turn. But all of a sudden if we equip... Oh no, it's only 8 power attacking. Blast Zone. Could get up to 5. I mean, if they go 4 or 5 next turn, they're killing one of their own things. Why not play Skyclave? We can't play Skyclave because there's Damping Sphere, guys. I'm sorry if I'm being sassy and ungrateful today, but... There's not a lot we can do here with all these... With Torpor Orb, Chalice, and Damping Sphere. Your plays are limited. Yeah, that is true. I'm sure half the chat is memeing about all this. Definitely. If they double block, I'm going to kill the Smasher. This chump block is like so good for us, though. I think. It's an interesting draw. You'll play the 3 mana 2/2 instead of the 2 mana 2/2. And so they can kill my Siege Rhino, but we don't die to the Smasher attack unless they draw exactly second Smasher. And so they can't attack because we could just equip the Batterskull and Skyclave and kill them. They can put the Blast Zone up to 5, but they're also dead to that. Did we want to leave up 3 to pick up Skull? No, because if they kill the Skull, then they're killing their Smasher. So they have to, and them blocking with the Seer means they're ticking it up to 4 to kill the Rhino. Yeah, this game has definitely felt like limited. Yeah, we drew our bomb to stabilize in this limited game. So we just moved the Batterskull here, right? Winning this game would be absurd. This is fun. This is good Magic. So they kill our Rhino. They chump block. They go down to... Sorry, we go up to 15. I'll play my 2/2, right? It's better than holding a Batterskull bounce. And they're top decking. Karn the Great Creator would kill us. Oh my gosh. We won that game. My opponent definitely gave us, I think, some freebies that game. I can't believe it. There's like 2 spots where I was super close to just scooping. Oh my. Okay, so our opponent, again, they have, I'm sure, 1 Torp Orb that they just boarded in, which I'm not sure that's even correct, right? I'm not sure that that's even correct over just leaving it in the sideboard to tutor with your Karn. But whatever. This hand is bad. My opponent kept 7. This hand is bad. This hand is also kind of bad. I'm gonna keep. No, let's go to 5. Yeah, his hand's so much better. Just gonna do this. Our 7-card hand was better than this. Whatever though. This is like a fine 5. Odds they have turn 2 orb. I will maybe just concede to turn 2 orb. Okay, Chalice on 1. It only stops 5 cards in our deck and stops 4 cards in their deck, so not that worried. We also have like 4 Skyclave Apparitions. I'm kind of worried about getting Batterskull because Batterskull is so important in this matchup. So if they go Temple or Power Plant into Thought-Knot Seer, they get us. But I think I'm just kind of hoping that they don't have that. They do have it. Rough. How is this even like a... I guess they're just looking at my hand, but this is just like the easiest Batterskull ever. Side out Ephemerate, please. I mean, Ephemerate's like the best card in our deck. And like, you want more Fatal Pushes? You want the 4th Damping Sphere? You want Veil of Summer? You want Auriok Champion? You want Rest in Peace? You want me to just magically have another card for this matchup? Maybe that's the play. I'm surprised they blocked 2. But we're still super dead. Tough match, dude. Tough match. That game 2 was really cool, though. Game 2 was super fun. Keep? Question mark? I'm just going to play Godless Shrine tapped. We have Siege Rhino plus Ephemerate, so how could we possibly lose? Stomping Ground tapped usually makes me afraid that we're playing against Dredge. Not Dredge, but Amulet, just like Titan Shift, which is probably a bad matchup too. I mean, how do I say this? You know, we're playing Abzan Ephemerate. We don't have good matchups, probably. But we get to smile and have fun, just like Commander. I mean, I think this deck is totally fine. Alright, we'll get to do a trick here. I also think this deck should be playing more than 23 lands. That was certainly one thing I was thinking when I saw this list for the first time. Probably just would have played 24. Oh, this is the Dwarven Mind variant. Oh, I guess I was supposed to do it the other way. I mean, it just doesn't matter. They kill my Sculler, then they get to Titan either way. Very cool. Yeah, that's what I kind of figured, Diamonds. Yeah, then Damping Sphere is good against Amulet Titan and Tron, and okay against E-Tron. But we just actually have no cards for this matchup. Choke is good against Boil, huh? Actually, Fatal Push is not that bad, though, because they're on Transmogrify. They're on Transmogrify for their tokens. It's just the way of the Ephemerate brews that aren't banned. To start off 0-2 and then battle their way to playing for 3-2. I do think that's part of the strength of playing Titan Shift is that people do have less sideboard cards for you, I think. You're gonna play Rhino and Pioneer. Rhino is also just like so medium in Pioneer. Like Abzan mana is not that good in Pioneer. It's okay, just not great. All right, snap keep. think I'm still getting Triumph on turn 1. Maybe no, I'll play Temple Garden because I kind of want to draw a land. We can shock. If that's shock. Am I getting sort of Feast and Famine here? It's kind of close. We can get sort of Feast and Famine off the Ephemerate. I think that I'm going to try to draw a land. I'm going to try my very hardest. And then put in Batterskull and Ephemerate the Stoneforge Mystic to get the Feast and Famine. Is my goal. But it's also just like not even going to be close to fast enough, huh? Do I ever get the boost stats in the first boost? I looked for them and I couldn't find anything, so... yeah, couldn't find anything. Honestly, the Transmogrified Dwarven Mind plan seems really good to me. I'm really into it. No fear, Fatal Push. Alright. It's gonna be one of those leagues. You never know what's gonna happen on Dono Deck Thursday. We had one really good game though against E-Tron. But I don't really know what removal spells are played anymore. But if you play Abzan in Pioneer, it's mostly just because like Abzan gets around every removal spell again. More so than, oh boy, I get to put Siege Rhino in my list. Has either Giants variants seem fun after the BNR? They seem fun, just not that good. I might return to Jeskai Giants again. I like that deck. We're in the O2 bracket, battling for 3 and 2. The Jund bracket. I think I will push this. Kind of tempted to get a Triumph instead, though. Drawing second Fatal Push makes me happy, though, that I did push. Get the Skyclave Cloth this if we want to. Yeah, I think we'll get basic planes now that I've drawn the Triumph and just be fine with not Eternal Witnessing next turn. We can maybe go Stoneforge plus Fatal Push next turn. That would be the best case scenario. They might just take the Witness. Because Jund players are just like, 2 for 1. Ah, take it. But this is also a 2 for 1. The Jund players plan discard every 2 for 1 with a discard spell and hope they never draw one off the top of their library. This is the Jund way. Yep. Rude but fair. You have to be rude but fair, I think. I think that's a great review of this stream. Rude but fair. Well, I can't believe my opponent is so lucky. Just kidding. Can't believe Aspiring Spike is so lucky. I think I'm getting Batterskull. Thank you, Vampiric Tutor. Very cool. Yeah, especially when I'm hungry. I did skip breakfast today because I had a late start. I mean, yesterday I was in the zone. I ate breakfast. I felt well rested. I was ready for like a long stream, and then there was MTGO maintenance, and I didn't. I got to stream Magic for like 1 hour, and then I slept really poorly last night, and I didn't eat breakfast because I woke up like 20 minutes late because I slept so poorly, and now I'm just in utter disarray. The stream is terrible, and then a complete 180. Do you think Elvish Visionary is better than Wall of Omens in this deck since it can carry a sword? I don't know. Wall of Omens is pretty good because there are so many red decks right now. Where Visionary is just so bad against the Swift Spear decks, but I usually do not like to play Wall of Omens and Stoneforge Mystic together. That is true. So, not sure. So my opponent has Kolaghan's Command in their hand. So my opponent just passes with 3 mana again. I'm just not going to activate Stoneforge Mystic. We could play Sculler, but I think it's just going to be better to play Batterskull with the ability to bounce. Charming Prince for the Wall of Omens slot. I mean, Charming Prince is only good if you have a card like Wall of Omens already in play. Like, Scrying 2 is just not that good. Okay, Scrying 2 is not a card! This is the new meme. Scrying 2 is not worth a card. This is the new 104.3a. There's a deck tech, thank you. Bant Retreat, awesome. I've been kind of looking forward to thinking about this deck. First thing I see is I see all of these enchantments, and I'm kind of interested in playing Thirst for Meaning. Thirst for Meaning is maybe hot. I would play 4 Anthonice, 2 Path in the main deck as well. I'm going to play 4 Feldar Retreat, 3 Shark Typhoon at first just to see how good it is. I also just might not play Omen of the Sea. Yeah, I think you probably just don't want to play Omen of the Sea. Maybe that's better. Or like at least 3 feels like a bit much. I don't think I'm feeling this pathway either. It's probably fine. Also, notably, you're only splashing green for Spiral, Nature's Claim, and Veil of Summer. I mean, Spiral's very good in this deck. But the splash is definitely not free. I wonder how bad it would be just to play blue-white with Retreat. Probably not that good. I'm not done with the deck tech. I'm just going to take a turn real quick. Probably should have attacked first. Kind of worried about them killing the Skyclave, though. Okay, they had Assassin's Trophy, not Kolaghan's Command. So if I take Lightning Bolt, I guess they can just push the Sculler to bolt the Skyclave. If they do that, I'll just push the token. Yeah, maybe you just want to be blue-white. Or you can play Ice Fangs. I think Ice Fangs are super good right now. I also see this one Snapcaster Mage that I think is there because you like Snapcaster Mage more than it's necessarily good. I know I'm just kind of spitting a lot of like different ideas here. I just think you want at least one Castle Vantress. Just having like no mana sinks in your lands is probably wrong. Yeah, I think if we're gonna be green, play Ice Fang. I think Ice Fang is really good. If you're not gonna be green, if you're not gonna play Ice Fang, maybe just be straight blue-white. I mean, Felder Retreat is probably great. I also don't like the Deicide in the sideboard. Castle over Pathway, yeah, I think so. Yeah, Thirst for Meaning is interesting, but just kind of like in theory. Like maybe if you're blue-white, you could just play Thirst for Meaning and cut some spirals. And then if you're still banned, then you can cut like the Omens and play some Ice Fangs. Cut like the Snapcaster and the 4 Omens. That's probably what I recommend to you. Yeah, Jun just can't beat Wall of Omens. It's also pretty lucky to draw our 1 Yorion here. They can trophy my Batterskull. Thanks for the 2-for-1. And thank you, Yorion, for the 4-for-1. I still have one more equipment, right? So I do want to stack the triggers so that the Stoneforges resolves first. So I don't draw the sort of Fire and Ice off of the Wall of Omens. Look like a fool. I remember once I was watching an LSV Vintage Cube draft or something. It might not have been Vintage Cube. It probably was. Yeah, I think it was. So I remember watching LSV sacrifice Solemn Simulacrum to Tinker, and then only had one good Tinker target in his deck, and said, "I'm not gonna draw a card off of Solemn because I could draw my Blightsteel or whatever the one card was," and it blew my mind when he did it. It absolutely blew my mind. This was a long time ago, but I thought it was just the coolest thing ever. Right. Abzan still with a good Jund matchup, I guess. It's good to bring in Veil of Summers. Potentially want Rest in Pieces. Although, like, the Rest in Peace shuts off our E-Witnesses, so these are mostly for, like, Dredge and Oopsal spells, which seem like pretty unwinnable matchups without them. Probably just going to go down on Sculler. Maybe I'll play, like, 2 Auriok Champion over the Scullers. I think Auriok Champion is medium against Jund. It's, like, good, not great. Yeah, there's usually concession lag on MTGO, so the banner somehow knows first before we actually see it on screen. I might just put back the Ephemerate. How well can this deck leverage Noble Hierarch? Medium, probably. This deck does need more mana sources, I think. Just gonna get lucky enough for a turn 2 discard spell. I don't know exactly how the banner works. I know it's run off of MTG bot. Having the one Overgrown Tomb in the deck is actually a bit awkward here, because it's gonna be hard to, like, if we just shock the Overgrown Tomb and hold this up, it's just so obvious we have Veil. That's probably the best thing to do here, though, because I'll just cycle a Veil of Summer if I get the chance. If they cast, like, Liliana. They can also think I have another Fatal Push. I guess they don't think that. If I draw a land, I'll turn a Witness back the Windswept Heath. Just forgot to cast the push on their turn. Oops. Please draw a discard spell. I mean, maybe they sided them out. I like explosives in Jund. Alright, can't lose. I'm sure my opponent can infer that I've got some 4-drops in my hand. I guess we're hoping that they have Inquisition of Kozilek. Maybe they'll Edict on my Witness and I'll just be able to cast 3 Rhinos in a row and lose. They are kind of incentivized to kill this because of Ephemerate. How were the first 2 games of the league? Blowouts are close. We won a really cool game against Eldrazi where they cast turn 2 Damping Sphere. Turn 2 Torpor Orb, and we just played a limited game and top decked the Batterskull at the last turn we possibly could, and were able to win. And then we got crushed the other 2 games, and then we got absolutely crushed by Titan Shift. One discards Wooded Foothills. They could have played that Wooded Foothills. That was a mistake, right? And they just don't activate Liliana. I gotta pay my actors less, man. Gotta pay him less. Your chat is memeing on Dono Deck Thursday. I gotta eat somehow. Still a good way to support the channel. Man. Was that 3 mistakes in like the last turn? How much are donor decks and how long is the wait? Here's some information on that. But I guess the wait is currently open, but I don't take day of submissions, so it would be first in the queue for next Thursday. I also hear some wrestling around out there, and it's either Esther getting back from her dentist appointment, or Athena going nuts, or a home invader. So let's go find out what that is. 2 of those 3 things require my attention. Hey, how are you doing? Esther, are you home? No. It was Athena. Come here. No. Yeah, it was just Athena being bored. Okay. So they were top decking last turn. Can we please draw Ephemerate? We haven't gotten to Ephemerate Rhino yet. Guess not. We've got 3 Siege Rhinos this game, though. Feels good. Yikes. I'm gonna leave this uncracked because we have fatal pushes. I think if we hold, we don't play our land here. If opponent draws a discard spell, they'll cast it. Dude, yeah, Witch's Cottage actually might be doable in this deck. Witch's Cottage is probably good. Remember we were missing our land drops for a while. Aspiring Spike remembers. I'm actually exiling Spyro here. They're also a bit flooded. No, sometimes I breathe into the mic and I don't really know how to make it not sound. Sorry if that's not your thing. I did wrestle with Athena real quick before I let her hang out on the balcony. So a little out of breath. Which is cause plus reason / believe. Seems janky. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. We're not really doing anything else with these lands besides discarding them, so... Yeah, we have enough to play Stoneforge and play Batterskull. At the very least, I'll just, hold 2 lands. So they did leave in any discard spells, they're kind of incentivized to cast them. The walls are holding off the tokens. Traded Marsh Flats for Fatal Push. Right, do you have another Fatal Push? I mean, they have to, right? They have to have a removal spell. Maybe it's Lightning Bolts. Maybe they just didn't think it was worth bolting there. I do have a land to fetch off of Marsh Flats, right? I have at least Temple Garden. Yeah. Definitely a Batterskull turn. Ephemerate was a good draw. No, I mean, I don't know how I can stop it. I guess I can move my mic back a little bit. Chewbacca, 10 months. Hope you're having a good day today. Thank you for that. Alright, they had to unravel the Aether as the card they were holding. Opponent drew Bloodbraid Elf? No, Clothis. Clothis is pretty good. Clothis is pretty good. Am I going to flicker Wall of Omens or Stoneforge Mystic into Sword of Feast and Famine? I think Wall. Because we can't like play an Equip Feast this turn anyways. Alright, so we get to push the Illusion token. I think we're still attacking Liliana. So Auriok Champion can offset some of the drain from Clothis if creatures are entering the battlefield. Oh, I forgot that the oh, yo, no. I forgot that the Batterskull was back in the deck. Yikes. Yeah, I just didn't think the Batterskull was in the deck. I thought it was just gone. Yeah, that was a mistake. Yikes. So 2 good draws from them in a row. But then they drew 2 lands, which is really good for us. Next out Clothis. Attack Liliana with Auriok Champion. What a weird game. How good is Jund if he gets a Triome? Better. Better for sure. Like Jund's mana is certainly one thing that is holding its back. Like compared to a lot of other 3-color combinations that have the Triome, it's bad, but also like needing green, red, double black, all of that's rough. Well, I guess we win. Opponent hit 3 lands in a row. That's unlucky for them. Sorry. Forgot that they exiled my Ephemerate. Maybe I should have got Yorion, huh? I think this is fine. Yeah, I thought I saw the Ephemerate in my graveyard. I forgot that they exiled it a little while ago. It's on me. Maybe just attack them. Yeah, I think I just like attacking them. Yeah. They're almost in Rhino range. Okay. So, despite a couple mistakes, we're 1-2. Can we do what we couldn't do last league? Battle back for the 3-2. 2 cards on the bottom. With the Serum Visions. Alright, Tidehollow Scullers. It's about time for you to be as good as some players think you are. Yikes. I think we take the Manamorphose. This matchup's actually pretty good, I think, because we got the Fatal Pushes, the Veil of Summers, the Damping Spheres. Yes, Sculler, in my opinion, is super duper medium, but sometimes is good. But yeah, I think we can could have gotten the callback to get the Yorion. I didn't have enough green mana. And they have Liliana to discard it anyways. But they do Chivalry for their turn. They opt to put a card on top. So I think that, yeah, so they're going to kill my Sculler, get back their Manamorphose. Manamorphose up to 3 mana. But we're not dead unless they hit another ritual off of this Manamorphose, but they can cast gifts. If you take Grape Shot, you can cast second Sculler for gifts or Morphos. So if we take the Grape Shot, we're pretty likely to just die with the opted Manamorphose and the gifts and their draw step. We're just dead to a ritual. But like making them Grape Shot the Sculler, I think is a bit better. So my opponent's hand is Goblin Electromancer Mystery card. I think I want to put the Past in Flames in their hand so I can Sculler it next turn. Can I give them Ritual Past in Flames in their hand? I can if they have nothing. Which I think they probably do. So we could put Manamorphose, Desperate Ritual in the graveyard. So their hand is now Desperate Ritual, Goblin Electromancer, Past in Flames, Mystery card. Alright, it's a good draw. So the first card we take will go back to their hand if we Ephemerate it, which is probably good to take the Electromancer. Yeah. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, never mind. So yeah, this goes underneath the Sculler, and then this is exiled forever. Man, Tidehollow Sculler is so good. This card's awesome. This card's great. What I was saying is Canal Ritual Mystery card. The real Splinter Twin was the friends we made along the way. You will die. Goblin Electromancer, you're going to die. I think I'm playing Stoneforge Mystic. Getting Feast and Famine. And then holding up Ephemerate to either get back Fatal Push to kill a mana guy top decked, or maybe get Sculler to interact with, if they start to go off. And their hand is still Ritual Mystery card. I think getting back Verdant Catacombs over Fatal Push there. Could maybe have flickered the Stoneforge Mystic. Maybe that was better. Just to get the Sword of Fire and Ice. Not 100% sure. Well, I guess I could have played the Sculler this turn and then played Skull with just Ephemerate up. Probably doesn't matter very much. I really can't imagine my opponent getting out of this. I think they drew Gifts Ungiven. Okay, never mind. That was just concession lag, not actually tanking lag. Maybe it was gifts ungiven and they just still realized they had no outs. I mean, winning game 1 is huge, right? Just because we have such a great sideboard against them. Alright, boarding out the rhinos. Trimming on walls. Probably need to be trimming on ephemerates too. Maybe play the first choke, but we saw like a bunch of non-islands. Rest in Peace is weird because it shuts off our Eternal Witnesses. Is there a way we can just like make room by cutting the witnesses too? Can maybe play like the first witness and just have it not be that big of a nombo. I kind of like just playing this. We don't need a million win conditions. Ephemerate was so good with yeah, but we're just trimming really heavily on creatures post board, so I think you want to trim ephemerates too. Yeah, I guess I'll cut the Yorion for it. I'll play like 2 rhinos. Would I recommend Scrollblade for a prelim? Yeah, I think Scrollblade's very good. Really, really like that deck. I think we have better 5 cards hands. We have 4 Damping Spheres in our deck. Alright, well. Maybe I was supposed to go to 3. I don't know. I think this is a better 4-card hand. Trying to find a good squirrel deck in Historic. Let me know if you find one. I'm all about the squirrel. Again, Veil of Summer is very good against Storm because it stops gifts and given. So yeah, if they play a Mana Dork, I think we just have to... So one thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to F6. I think I'm going to keep my finger on the turn off auto yields, and as soon as I see a ritual, I'll turn it off. But they'll feel the F6. And then they'll go for gifts. And then maybe we get to Veil Gifts Ungiven. Through the breach? What the hell? This is awesome. That was awesome. What the hell? What a sideboard plan. Yikes. Oh my gosh. What a weird day it's been today. Guess I'm cutting these rest in pieces. Did I need to scoop there? Yes, I did. Absolutely, I did. I know it only killed 2 lands, but come on. I know we weren't 0% to win. I get it. I get it. But don't make me play that game. Just gotta give it to him. Keep, I guess. It's about as good as it gets. Full house. It's kind of nice. Yeah, I was Padme at the end of Revenge of the Sith there. Just completely lost my will to live. Which is not currently a Magic the Gathering reference, but will be very soon, I'm sure. Ritual, Manamorphose, Past in Flames, Serum Visions. Put 1 card on bottom, 1 card on top. I think I take the gifts. It's kind of close. Yeah. Their hand's definitely very good. I kind of think they cited out through the Breach combo, but obviously I don't really have any evidence to support that. Why play Sculler before Sphere? It's really bad if our opponent has a mana guy, and then they can kind of like still play Magic through the Sphere. And it's really exceedingly unlikely that they can go off on turn like 2, you know what I mean? Basically never happens. It's possible, but like through a Sculler, it's basically impossible. There's a mana guy. Good thing we have the second sphere. It's also really bad if they have like a braid in their hand, you know. No land. Well, we can't go Ephemerate Sculler anyways because of Stamping Sphere. Alright, so that gives them 2 mana. Their next spell costs 2 more to play, so they can play 1 or 2 mana spell, or land plus 3 mana spell, I guess. Their hand is Ritual, Ritual, Pass in Flames, 3 new cards. Live view of my opponent. Trying to figure out how to get out of this. How good is Tron right now? Decent. Alright, they're done casting spells this turn. Well, their hand does nothing. Right now, at least. Yeah, they can't Pass in Flames a Sideboard anytime soon. And it's 4 rituals and a Pass in Flames. Or sorry, 3 rituals and a Pass in Flames. I'm not sure exactly which ones. And a new card. But I'm just gonna click all of them away. My opponent right now. I'll play Goblin Electromancer and pass. And me with my very smooth brain, I cast Damping Sphere and pass the turn. The 3rd Damping Sphere of the game. My very, very smooth mind. Fran, 10 months in a row. Thanks, buddy. Everybody exclamation point Fran in the chat. Pass in Flames to flashback a braid. Fair enough. Will Spike ever draw a second land? Probably not. Sorry, 3rd land. What an awful play. I mean, they have to do that. I don't think they have a choice. Definitely feels bad. They shocked. I really don't think they can go for a Pass in Flames here. If they're Pass in Flamings, they're like cycling it, right? Costs 3 to flashback. Yeah, this would just be like drawing a card for them. The guy, 18 months, and Nirvana, 3 months. Thank you guys. The support has been really, really great lately. I do want to let you know you are appreciated. Yeah, so this costs... Maybe they can draw like 2 cards, actually.
What's up?
Because now that I'm down to merely 1 Damping Sphere. Ooh, and a Hype Train. Thank you, Sean, for shoveling the coal in the fire. Yeah, so they get Manamorphose for... Let's see... Math is pretty weird with the Damping Sphere. Cost 3 more. Cost 5 minus 3. So yeah, they can't cast another spell, right? I don't think they can. It's kind of weird with 2 mana guys. How much would it cost for me in points for me to run Esper Death Shadow in a prelim? I really don't like to play prelims on stream. I really dislike the dead air, so I just prefer not to. Oh no, I meant to cast the Ephemerate. Sorry. Misclick. I'm gonna exile the Goblin Electromancer here. Or sorry. Yeah, the Electromancer to make redundant Baral's dead. Losing this game would be something else. Yeah, also does let us attack, of course. Well, maybe we have attacks anyways. They put 2 cards on top with Opt. Does anyone know what that song is when someone falls? That's a friend of mine, Jalen Monday, who's a composer. Oh no. Where's the link? Okay, I'll have to change that. There was a link there at some point. I don't know where it is. But he's a friend of mine. He's a composer. And was kind enough to make some music for the channel. And the next spell costs 3 more. Yaden, 15 months. Hope you're having a good day. So this Past in Flames is just cycling here. If I was concerned about play points, would I recommend selling chests or opening them? Opening them is better if you need play points, and selling them is better if you don't. Illusions donate GG, 3 months. Welcome back to you. So they did put 2 cards on top, which is making me thinking, or sorry, is making me think that one of their cards in hand is going to be an answer to the Damping Sphere. They kept, but they still have 1 card that is also a card they already left on top. That's still on top of their library now. So we can play Sculler and Ephemerate our Sculler this turn, or we can Skyclave and Ephemerate our Skyclave on our opponent's turn. I think that's like the safest bet. And then they just probably can't combo without a mana guy, right? Maybe it's close. Like they have to combo off without a mana guy. Oh well. I guess we just get to kill both of their guys now. Well, my opponent has successfully fought through 3 copies of Damping Sphere. They do have a Past in Flames in the yard. They do have a couple rituals too. Yeah, and also last game they beat us through the Breach Emrakul. If we draw land, we can threaten lethal with Sword of Feast and Famine. I think we know at least like 1 or 2 rituals in their hand too, but Desperate Ritual. Yeah, they have to go for it. I don't think that they are 100% to be able to go off. They can spend 2 mana to abrade a Sculler to get back Gifts Ungiven, but without a mana creature, it's just not going to be enough mana. They flashback Past in Flames with 1 mana floating. They have 2 rituals, a Mana Morphos, and a Serum Visions in their graveyard at the moment. I think they do have enough. No. Or if they can cast the Gifts Ungiven, they don't have enough mana to like do anything after that. Like casting the gifts doesn't really matter unless they're also, killing us. I'll be right back. Make sure my opponent doesn't kill me. Just draw the 4th sphere. That would be so tilting for them, I think. Live look at my opponent. They're out of Past in Flames if they don't go off this turn. How have the Tidehollow Scullers been? Not great. Yeah, we have 2 looks at a land next turn with Ephemerate on Wall of Omens too. Dude, dying this turn will be so cool. They have 4 red mana. Storm counts 6. They're going to through the breach me. They deal 3 damage to Wall of Omens. And then they're going to grape shot my board. What a turn. What a turn. Athena is saying, why are you petting me and not giving me some of your chips? Huh? Why not give me some of your chips? If I'm such a good dog like you claim, why would I not get any chips? So now they have 2 copies of Gifts Ungiven in their hand, but no more Past in Flames. It's been a great match. Really, really weird one, though. We just have the 3rd and the 4th Scullers in our hand. An Eternal Witness back Damping Sphere next turn. Okay, our opponent's hand is 2 Gifts Ungivens. Good luck, opponent. This is one of the weirdest games I've ever played. I've cast 3 Damping Spheres and 4 Tidehollow Scullers against Storm, and they're still just trucking along. What a top deck. But they don't have a Past in Flames, is their problem here. Do I want to kill their Electromancer, or do I want to just put Damping Sphere into play? Triway, thank you for your 4 months in a row. Hope you're having a good day today. Appreciate that. I'm just going to kill their Electromancer. Kill them next turn. This is also good against Empty the Warrens. You thought I'd never play Rhino and it's a bad card? That's true, but I'll do it for money on Donation Deck Thursday. So my opponent's hand is 2 copies of Gifts Ungiven. They've already played 2 Abrades and flashed them back, so I mean, how many more Abrades can they possibly have? 2, I guess, is the answer. If I 5-0 with a Rhino, would I reconsider? Me 5-0 with Rhino does not change that the card is underpowered in Modern. You know what I mean? Blue-white control with Celestial Colonnades winning the challenge doesn't change my opinion that the castles are better than Colonnades. So, you know, Siege Rhino can definitely 5-0 leagues, but it's just like not the best thing it can be on. And I do think Siege Rhino is very cool and fun. Let that not be forgotten. Dude, rebuild would be nuts because my Sculler is an artifact. About Echoing Truth? I mean, so they Abrade, Remand, Manamorph. I mean, Remand does nothing here. They're definitely getting Remand. I think we're giving them Manamorphose Remand here. They should have done this in response to the cast. This was actually a big mistake by them. What's the next deck after this? It's a Mardu Smallpox deck. It's another donation deck that looks really exciting and fun. And maybe even kind of good? Question mark. That one is from Pohatan. Alright, then they cast the second Gifts. That's all 4 Gifts Ungivens accounted for, because the right? No, 1, 2, 3. No, I guess there's still 1 in the deck. Yeah, the information for Dono decks is in the chat. You can ! Dono. Find out the info. Play them on Thursdays. Definitely a great way to support the channel. It's also, like, I think, a good change of pace. Really relaxing. Usually a lot of fun. Any plans to play and brew some spicy decks in Pioneer soon? I don't have plans to do so, no. I will do so if the inspiration strikes me, which is always how I brew. It's when the inspiration strikes me. It's but I don't know. I don't know really why I'm not that interested. They do have 4 braids. Wow. I don't really know why I'm just not that interested in Pioneer, but I'm not. I hope that one day I will be interested again. We could die here. We could die to Grape Shot, maybe. Dude, that was a super fast Desperate Ritual. That was the fastest Desperate Ritual I've ever seen cast. I mean, they know that they have to cast it. They have to... They killing my Sculler? Do they have a 3rd Past in Flames in their deck? No, they're rebanding their Grape Shot. We're dead! We lost! Oh, I can't believe it. Well played, opponent. Well played. Opponent battled through 3 Damping Spheres, 4 Tidehollow Scullers, Sword of Fire and Ice killing their Electromancer, Skyclave Apparition dealing with 2 of their mana creatures. Yeah, that was lethal. They had 2 remands in their hand. Yeah, I was thinking remand Grape Shot with 6 mana, but it's actually 8 that they needed. That is a Seb Swamp, yeah. Did they really only have 4 lands? I thought for sure that they had 6. But they needed 8, right? I don't know. We're playing this match now. Opponent's mulligan to 5. Yeah, these are the Seb Swamps. They look really, really good. Well, they cast a Ritual guy. Okay, only 5 lands. Let me look. I really thought that they had 6. They have a mana floating or something? They did only have 5 lands. So they just for 10. They immediately play Grape Shot again for 5 damage. How many spells did they need to cast? 5, 7. Yeah, we probably scooped unnecessarily there. But honestly, props to them. They played that match super well. But yeah, we actually, I think we're not dead there. I was just stunned. What Wall of Omens defend you against these cards? What a weird game. 2 really, really weird games this league. The one against the E-Tron and then also that last one. Do I block with Wall of Omens? Could attack with it next turn. Yeah, we could have survived, but honestly, like, their deck had to be so low on gas. But it is possible that we would have still died. Fatal Push would be a good draw. Wouldn't hate a white source for Skyclave, but... Right, I'm just going to play Stoneforge Mystic. So they're only for aggro red. Well, they also work with Ephemerate really well. But Wall of Omens is a good card in the format at the moment. Blocking doesn't play very well around Lava Dart or Gut Shot. Does play around light up the stage though. Or mutagenic growth. Soulscar Mage, Manamorphose. Okay. Do I think Tidehollow or Freebooter are good in Prowess Bird matchups? No, I do not. No, I do not. Maybe Freebooter is fine in the humans deck, but I think they tend to be pretty poor. It's like, oh, I'm going to take their lightning bolts, but they just have, you know, a ton of shocks and lightning bolts. And then you spend 2 mana and they spend 1 mana, and it's just not a great exchange. Might end up chumping a Soulscar Mage and then activating Stoneforge Mystic. Maybe not. I mean, if they attack into the Batterskull, they definitely have a burn spell. But maybe we just accept that here. Priest of Haunted Edge versus Blue-Black Prowess. No, I mean, that card I don't think is particular. I mean, being a 2-mana 0/4 is just... Like, Wall of Omens draws a card and it's usually going to be... Oh, no! Oh my gosh, I misclicked. Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. That's like 2 mistakes in the last 2 games. It's good for looking at chat. Coming back over here. I don't think that that's your answer. I think that spot removal is better. Can we play like the first Damping Sphere over Sword of Feast and Famine? But I'm just going to submit this. Our matchup's probably not that bad, but better to put the Batterskull into play. Yeah, Fran, I agree completely that this deck should have 24 lands. I probably should have just gone ahead and added one, but I usually like to play the Dono decks as is. How do I feel about Abbot of Carol Keep in an Ephemerate deck? I mean, the problem with Abbot plus Ephemerate is that Ephemerate wants you to be playing a lot of like 2 to 3 mana creatures in your deck, and Abbot wants your curve to be very, very low. So probably not very good. Right, on the play. Easy keep. Easy keep. Alright, this is where we turn things around and collect our 50 play points. But also kept 7. We have a Mardu Smallpox deck next with Karn the Great Creator, which looks pretty decent. Dude, Siege Rhino gains 4 life with Auriok Champion. It's kind of busted. Rhinos always travel in packs. I think I'm still getting Batterskull. Just make them kill my Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah, you know what? It's kind of funny. You know, 4 life. That's like drawing a card. I know. You know, that's a great, you know, addition to the scrying 2 is equal to drawing a card. But getting 4 life against burn is actually like better than drawing a card, which is kind of funny to think about. Yeah. So by like the transitive property, right? So if a 3 life is equal to a card against burn. And so if 3 life is equal to a card, and if 1 card is equal to Scry 2 is equal to 3 life. But again, scrying does not equal drawing cards. There's a card I think that's like 1 mana scry 5. Well, actually, no, you can't put cards from index on the bottom of your library. Never mind. Dude, they can Vapor Snag Auriok Champion. They're kind of incentivized to Vapor Snag this, though. They're just going to Vapor Snag this now. And not kill my Stoneforge. Strange. Then we get just a forest here. Want to play Auriok Champion before activating Stoneforge Mystic, since you do gain a life off of the germ. And this time I'll try to not mess up my Stoneforge activation. From all the snag lines, I figured out the worst one. I agree completely. He just gave me something to do with this 2 mana. Like, I was not sure. I kind of I probably would just have cast Batterskull, or sorry, cast Siege Rhino last turn if they hadn't bounced the champion. But now my mana is like super efficient here. I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah, I'm just gonna force their hand here by putting in the Batterskull and blocking. They have like Smash to Smithereens? Sure. If they have Wild Slash, they get to kill my Auriok Champion. Yeah, still get the life from the germ. It's kind of like kind of funny to compare it to Smash. We end up gaining a life instead of getting dealt 3. Alright, it's Rhino time. Rhino Mania. I think I'm gonna start attacking too. It's kind of nice that they errated Siege Rhino to gain you 4 life. It's kind of funny, like, theoretically we could just die this turn. It's not very likely, though. Although that's kind of the card, right? Or that, yeah. That plus like Manamorphose, Lava Dart. Lightning Bolts, too. I'm gonna block. I'm blocking here. Kind of confused why they didn't attack with Soulscare Mage. I don't really even know what it's doing being back besides blocking Stoneforge Mystic. Because surely it's not going to block Siege Rhino. So they shrink my Rhino to be a 3/4, which dies to the Swift Spear. Sure, I'm glad my opponent's just not getting like a free 4 to 5 damage off their Soulscar Mage here. Yeah, I mean, them not attacking with Mage is just a mistake, I think. They're Lava Darting my Stoneforge Mystic? It's a bit weird. Is MTGO down? I don't think so. Doesn't look like it. Witness get back Skull? That's so much slower than just Rhino. Especially because Restoration Angel works with the Rhino. Yeah, Witness get back Skull and play Wall seems like a losing line to me. Has 2 cards in their hand. Maybe I should have not have attacked the champion. I'm not sure. The idea was Witness Skull use Stoneforge. Ah, I see. Maybe that was good, yeah. I didn't see that line. That could have been better. It's kind of bad against them having like another dart on the Stoneforge in response, though. Lava Dart's a messed up magic card, I guess. That's a great draw. So I'm gonna go Fatal Push on Sprite Dragon. Eternal Witness back, Fatal Push to kill the mage. iStock 5, hope you're having a good day today. Appreciate ya. I hope that this game has done a good job illustrating why this is no longer just the jam Siege Rhino format. As much as we all want it to be. It's like your 4-mana creature is just smaller than your opponent's 1-mana creatures. They always have Spell Pierce. It's so sick. But has no cards in their hand. Their dragon's dead. Remember how Siege Rhino got pod banned? Yeah, I mean, Siege Rhino was very good in that deck at the time. That was also, you know, it's kind of interesting to talk about, but, you know, Lightning Bolt was way better in that format than it is in this one, where there just are a decent number of decks that just, you know, are pretty resilient to Lightning Bolts. But back then, I think like the 5 points of toughness mattered so much, and like there wasn't, you know, Reality Smasher to be a 5/5 or to get around the 4/5. Gonna not block, I think. Did Gurmag Angler exist? Yeah, but like Tasker was a bit more popular because really probably no reason. Probably just shouldn't have been more popular, but it was. I think we're playing the 2-drop and the 5-drop here. The next turn we can resto plus push, I guess. Yeah, also, yeah, Fatal Push was another big thing that makes Rhino worse. Excellent point. And I'll also say, like, you know, Rhino was good in the pod deck. The pod deck was always going to get banned, though. And it's not like Rhino was ever really, like, nuts in a deck that's just trying to fairly kind of, you know, play an Abzan mid-range deck. There was like I talk about this all the time because it really does fascinate me just thinking about it. But there were like 2 world events in a row where the majority of players, I think I'll take my time and just pay. The majority of players registered Abzan midrange at Worlds for the modern portion. Like an insane like just unreal number of Abzan midrange players. And then like the second most popular deck was Bant Eldrazi because it was like the midrange deck that kind of beat up on Abzan. But that was like 90% of the field or something absurd like that was Bant Eldrazi and Abzan. And I just think about all the time, if anyone had registered Mono Green Tron at that tournament, they would have won Worlds. They just would have won Worlds if anybody had decided to register Mono Green Tron. And I just think about it all the time. I'm just obsessed thinking about it. It was 40 to 60. Yeah. But between Abzan and Bant Eldrazi, which Mono Green crushes, it was an insane number, something like that. For 2 Worlds in a row, too. And it's like, how is nobody like even has an idea that's what the metagame looks like? Yeah, I know it's because pros were, you know, obsessed with playing decks like that because they just wanted to leverage every single small amount of skill to try to, you know, get a win. I understand why everyone chose to play Abzan, even though it was not, in my opinion, like the right choice. But you would think with like just the best minds working on it that somebody would have realized that, man, Mono green Tron is just like this nuts metagame call. I don't know. I think about it a lot, and I don't really have any conclusions to draw from the thoughts. It's just really interesting to me. And the fact that it was like 2 worlds in a row, it wasn't just that one tournament. I'm pretty sure it was 2 years in a row that just everybody played Abzan. That kind of happened with the Reed's Boggles. Yeah, exactly. Like, so I talk about this from time to time too, but Worlds and Pro Tour events tend to be just excellent to metagame for. And I obviously haven't played in that many Pro Tours, but in 2 of them, I have played metagame decks, and I thought that they were both like really good. Where I played my first ever Pro Tour at Pro Tour Nashville, I played a Aetherworks Marvel deck that was playing Elder Deep Fiend plus Kozilek's Return to be good at both in the mirror, because you have extra big hits with your Deep Fiends in the Marvel mirror, which is a big deal. And then the Kozilek's turn was huge against zombies, and that was just the whole Pro Tour. And I really feel like I had a great list for that event. And then I mulliganed to 5 a ton on day 2, but I had a great start. I really, really liked that deck. And then the last PT I played in the historic portion at least, I had this really heavily metagamed Bant control deck that was great for the tournament. I think I was 6-2 in the historic portion, and I had to play against a ton of world-class players along the way, and I just loved my historic deck. I thought it was so good. And just Pro Tours and Worlds events, because they're so small, and because people are really likely to like play the top decks and not brew and not tune and not try to take risks because the events are so high stakes, those tend to be the best tournaments you can possibly metagame for. The best tournaments you can possibly just try to have a brew to take it down. And I just am surprised that you don't see that happen very often. And I'm not trying to say that I'm just some like great force at doing it. I'm just saying I found some success in the past, and I think that people should do it more at these high events. Yeah, I agree, dude. Yeah, my standard list was bad, and I also didn't practice standard enough. But it's also hard when I just don't have an arena account, and then I had the arena account for like a week and a half to 2 weeks before the historic PT. It was just not enough time to like learn 2 formats and then break both of them. But it was, I think, enough time. It was at least enough time to like learn 2 formats and have a really good brew and metagame list for historic. I just didn't take enough time for standard. But those prep weeks were brutal because I was still streaming modern during the week because this is, my job. And I was streaming like a little historic on stream, but I was like doing 6 hours of stream and like 8 hours of PT testing at night every single day for weeks. It was tough. Yeah, I agree, Doom. Yeah, I think your historic deck was also really good. I agree completely. I'm glad that you also decided to take some risks there. Would it be worth your time to put out some how to brew content maybe on YouTube? This is a question I get a lot. This is a question I get all the time, kind of, or I get like variations of this question. I know people are very interested in my brewing process, but I think I'm playing Stoneforge with Ephemerate up here. But we do some brewing on stream. And I do think I could have some advice for like a how to brew YouTube video, how to make a successful deck. But part of my process is I don't ever just sit down and try to build a deck. I don't, without having an idea first, I don't ever just sit down and say to myself, I'm going to brew now. I'm going to build a good deck. This is a card I like. This is a Siege Rhino that I like, and I'm going to build around a Siege Rhino. I'm going to brew around Siege Rhino. That's just not my process, My process always starts with me having an idea of something that is, good in a format or a metagame environment or whatever that nobody else is doing or is underexplored, or an interaction, a card, a deck archetype that is underexplored, and I try to exploit that and see if it is good in the format of the metagame like I think it is, and then go from there. isn't that kind of my process for $50 dono decks? Yes, it is, but it's also like, and some of those turn out very well, but like those are also just are not like, those have not been my successful decks, you know, for the most part. There are some exceptions, but that's not like what I do on the rest of the stream. You know, the $50 dono decks, the $40 dono decks, you know, these are, you know, kind of to keep the lights on, less so rather than, you know, being how I approach Magic the Gathering. I'm not saying that I'm physically incapable of sitting down and just putting a deck together, but I am saying like that's not how I approach the game as a whole. My opponent's draw has been very good, I'll say. Above average. Or maybe just average. So if they have actual nothing, we could win. Guess no reason to activate the Stoneforge now because I'm ephemerating this. Oh, that's not even true. We can't even beat nothing. They just have too much flying power. I don't know why I was thinking I could Germ Token and Skyclave the Spray Dragon, but that didn't even matter too. We went 1-4 with Abzan, Ephemerate. We had some cool games along the way. We didn't play perfectly. If you're going to build this deck, you need to have at least 24 lands. I would probably recommend 25, and then maybe like a utility land of some kind, like a Gavany Township, or something less greedy than that. Maybe a Castle Lochtwain. I'm not a big fan of Horizon Canopy either at the moment. There's just a million Swiftspear decks. I think the sideboard's fine for this metagame. And this was fun. And, you know, I understand that this is mostly a fun deck. And I think we did a good case, or a good showing of why, you know, it's just not Siege Rhino's time anymore. Siege Rhino's retired at the zoo. So we have one more dono deck today. It is a Mardu Small.